Hi David, good to see you.
Okay.
So we were going to just have a bit of a follow-up chat. So a few weeks ago, we had someone come and talk about shame in the church. Can you just sort of build on that for us a little bit? What is shame?
So shame is like it's when you sort of feel worthless, when you feel like a failure, when you feel like you don't belong, and that it usually comes from things that we have done or from what others have done to us. Um, and say that can come. You sort of example of that is when you sort of find it maybe a hard time believing that God loves you, or so that's where
Okay,
you.
and does the Bible? How does the Bible kind of talk about shame? Can you give us? Is there like any particular examples that stood out to you, or any thoughts?
Yeah, scripture speaks a lot about shame. So you see it in sort of different people in throughout the Bible. So we see it in the sort of Old Testament and the New Testament, sort of, well, like sort of women who aren't able to have children, which brought a lot of shame, because back then it's very important that you had children, that family. Um, you see it then sort of the lepers, people who were isolated, who you couldn't touch, who were seen as unclean. Um, those people who maybe were disgraced by others. So, I guess you see it with Hagar. She was a Egyptian servant of Sarah who gave Abraham a child, and then obviously she was end up being kicked out of the house. Um, and you see it with like sort of like Leah, Jacob's wife, who was really unwanted, unloved, and um, just people who feel like that, unwanted, unloved, who've been treated badly, who by the people that should really love them. Um, yeah, people who feel like rejected, because of you know all those sorts of different reasons.
Right, and so that affects kind of, I guess, like how we think about ourselves, how we think other people think about us,
Yeah,
and like we want to kind of sort of raise this as a bit of an issue in church. Have you got any particular helpful things just to say? I guess we're going to be building on this, or we'll have a look, think about various different things to do with shame. This is just more introducing the topic, but
yeah.
one or two things extra to say, David. You got any thoughts, nuggets, ideas about how this affects us or our church?
How it affects us or affects our church. Well, I think if you do feel shame, you sort of the way you feel about yourself, and that I would have had that at one time myself. That feeling of I don't belong. I feel like an outsider. And I think if you do feel like that, then you almost like there will be times where you'll withdraw, where you sort of, it will keep you at a distance from people. Um, so it's part, I
And
suppose, part of. Go ahead, sorry.
I guess like sometimes that can be like a shame thing because of like something that's happened to me or something that's done in the past.
Yeah,
Sometimes it can be because like we are ashamed of, like we've got this secret sinful life that we're kind of holding on to, or it's growing and we sort of feel distant, and there's this kind of disconnect with people. Like shame does affect us really. It kind of, it breaks community, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. Um, and the thing that the sort of the Bible offers us is the fact that we are united to the Holy One. We're married to Jesus. He's the one. He's the perfect one. We are united to. We're not united to sin, but we're united to um the righteous one, the right one. So that's sort of, we might have all this uncleanness, all this shame that we feel because of things we've done, or because of things that have been done to us, but we are like redefined by being connected to Jesus, and sort of that, I suppose, the cleansing that comes from being united to Jesus. I suppose the way we view ourselves can be, we view ourselves based on our sin or the sin that's been done to us, but we don't view ourselves based on being, our identity is being united to Jesus.
Right, that's really helpful. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there, and then there's going to be a bunch of other videos just talking through this kind of concept of shame and like how it affects us. But thanks very much, David. I'll say goodbye.
Thanks, Pete. See you later.
Bye.